What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I'm talking about how much to draw per day. How many hours should you put in if you want to make good progress? If you're thinking about going professional, how many hours should you put in per day? First point I want to make, and this is a very important point to make, if you don't have a lot of time to give, something is always better than nothing. So if you can only put in 20 minutes a day, that's better than not doing anything at all. So no matter what position you're in, always try to do something. If you don't have the time because you work full time, maybe you're going to school full time, you got a bunch of other things going on, don't expect to put in tons of time into the art. It takes energy, it takes effort. So don't expect to do tons of hours if you simply don't have it in your schedule to do so, but always try to do something. Even if it's very small, half an hour a day goes a really long way if it's focus time. So what are the ideal hours? If you could pick the perfect amount to draw per day, I would say it's between 3 to 5 hours of focused drawing art time per day. 3 to 5 hours. Why 3 to 5 hours? I honestly don't think you can draw and be focused for more than 3 to 5 hours. If you can focus for more than 5 hours a day, that means you have like a superpower, a super brain, because it's just, even yogis can't focus for that many hours per day. It's really hard to be really focused for that long. There's a lot of artists that say they work 8 hours a day, but they're also including a bunch of like doing email, doing research and all this other stuff. When I'm saying 3 to 5 hours, I mean 3 to 5 hours of actually drawing, actually doing the work. That's what I'm talking about, 3 to 5 hours, nothing else. So pencil in hand, actually working 3 to 5 hours is ideal. You can go wrong by doing too much, because if you draw too much in a single day, you will get injured. Your hand cannot tolerate sitting down. Your body can't tolerate sitting down and drawing for many, many hours, especially if you're in one position and you're looking down, or even if you're working on a computer. Working for 8 hours a day can be very taxing on your body, and if you create long-term damage on your physical health, then you won't be able to draw much in the future anyway. So the adding more time in the beginning might not help long-term. So you always want to keep the hours to between 3 to 5. I think that's like the perfect amount. I draw between 3 to 5 hours because I've found that it's enough time to make serious progress in a single day on a piece, but it isn't so much that I get too tired to draw the next day. It's the right amount. And I prefer to do 3 hours in the morning and then 2 hours later, and like making sure that there's a long break there. But if you can get to 3 to 5 hours, it's enough time. And there's a lot of art teachers that say that you draw as much as you can and all this other stuff, and I don't think that's the right mentality, because if you draw too much, what will happen is that you'll spend more and more of that time distracted, because you'll try to include other things into the drawing process, because you don't have, like, you'll start watching shows while drawing and stuff like that. And I just don't think that is a good idea long term. If you're trying to improve, it's not a good idea to be distracted while working. So with that said, short focused work is better than long unfocused work or distracted work, right? So being focused for half an hour is way better than being distracted for 2 hours. So if you're drawing and you're super distracted, you're texting and on social media and all this other stuff for 2 hours while drawing, that's not as good as being really focused for half an hour. Because what will happen is, if you're distracted and unfocused while working, especially early on, especially as a beginner, you'll develop really bad habits because they'll go unnoticed. You just won't notice them because you're not paying attention, and then you'll train your brain to draw the wrong way, and then you're going to have to come back and relearn it, and that's a pain in the butt. It's not a fun time to have to relearn anything at all. Like, it's just if you learn stuff the right way the first time, that will make things like infinitely easier. And I feel like that's obvious, but it's just something that you need to keep in mind when you schedule yourself. Make sure that you're focused, especially when you're trying to learn something new. If you're having fun rendering something that you're used to doing, you've already learned it the right way, sure, then you can be distracted. You can just have fun, relax, enjoy it. But if you're trying to improve, 3 to 5 hours of focused work is the best way to make significant improvement. And that doesn't include researching references and watching tutorials. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 3 to 5 hours actually drawing. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you're interested in learning how to draw, I have a bunch of drawing tutorials on the website. Make sure to sign up for the mailing list while you're there. And feel free to subscribe to the channel or like it if you want more of this type of content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.